a dude walked up to me. I'm gonna say, "Are you circumcised?" And I'm like, "If you're not circumcised, I say, let me take this." That's your own problem. Why would you want to ride on it? Like, you want to, exactly. You know, I had never seen more.
Maybe the body tonight, y'all.
Yeah. Like, I haven't seen.
Let me give you our card, sir.
Yes, sir. Take a peek. Post a peek. Save a peek. There you go.
This is.
Oh my God, this is crazy.
They been, oh, it's okay.
Make sure you tell your friends they deserve their whole team.
My friends.
All your friends.
My friends, they probably think I did these today.
Tell your family. Tell your friends. Tell your grandma. Tell your grandpa.
My granddad.
Tell them all. They deserve their whole lives.
T-square in your back. You got a T-square. Good.
Wow. Just everywhere around we see students stopping by and having conversations with impactivists, getting educated. I talked to one woman from Nigeria who is familiar with female genital mutilation, and it was difficult to talk to her because she felt that there was more harm, there was more good than harm in circumcising a girl, because there's a belief that it reduces promiscuity among women, and that helps keep families together. And she felt the same applied to male circumcision. By reducing the sexual pleasure, that's good because it reduces promiscuity. So
I saw you talking to her.
yeah, I don't think I've met someone who is that supportive of female genital mutilation. But we told her about the way that penis cutting harms families, that it reduces the ability of a man and a woman, a husband and wife, to bond intimately. That a man can't have as a satisfying orgasm when his foreskin's cut off. That intact men have longer, more intense orgasms, and we talked about how circumcision destroys families. Because when you try to protect your nephew and you fail, sometimes you stop talking to your siblings, or you stop talking to your parents if they won't acknowledge that they hurt you and they refuse to apologize for mutilating you. so she was receptive to those arguments a bit, and kind of she said she'd do more research. That was.
But you saw firsthand the same tenacity defending female circumcision as we see the people who defend male circumcision.
Yeah, it was eye-opening. I felt I'm not ready to have to persuade someone to not cut a girl, because it's just so not normal in this culture to cut girls.
Did she, was she a professor or a student, do you recall?
She's a student from Nigeria, and part of it she was just arguing, just saying the things she's heard and exploring the ideas. She was a bit more curious and intelligent, so but yeah, it's odd.
Thank you, Luke Artanis. We are here at Mississippi State University in Starkville, Mississippi. A remarkable student body here, Luke Artanis.
Absolutely.
We haven't heard any people cursing us out, or we've just met a lot of people interested.
Yes, everyone has been respectful, very curious and receptive, taking information, wanting to have conversations, wanting to be recorded and interviewed. It's a great campus here.
Thank you, Luke Artanis from Denver, Colorado, ladies and gentlemen. Luke Artanis on the Bloodstained Men Road Crew. You can see Harry Gierman is here talking to a woman who's asking questions. I don't want to barge in on that conversation. You can see intactivists all around engaging in conversations with students. I myself have had several remarkable conversations with well over a dozen people and groups of students. Here's Seth Edward standing on the elevated brick around the plant. Can't miss Seth Anderson. Take a pic, post a pic, save a dick.
Would you imagine?
And we know that when these pictures go out on the internet, ladies and gentlemen, people talk about circumcision, don't they, Seth Edwards?
Right. We've had a great response here today. The comparison between here and Ole Miss yesterday is just completely different here. The people are so much more open, so much more receptive. So many people here agree with it, or they're open-minded to at least listen to the message and see what we're talking about. And it's just a drastic difference. I mean, there were some people at Ole Miss yesterday, but the people here today are just phenomenal. This is a great day for circumcision and activism, and it's a great day.
And Seth Edwards, you drove down from Indiana and joined us a couple of days ago here on the front lines of the struggle for human rights in the United States.
Yep.
It's shocking that we have to do this work. American doctors have created a vacuum of information, haven't they?
Yeah, it's there's a few students here that are actually pre-med students that we've talked to, and before we even really talked, they already got it. They knew that it was wrong, and so I feel like there's a new generation that's going into the medical field, and they're going to be a lot harder to brainwash and convince that circumcision is normal. I think they're going to be better critical thinkers, and they're going to challenge the normatives that they've been kind of presented with. That I'm kind of hopeful that in the next 25 years, doctors are just a different breed of doctors, because they're a different breed now as they're going into the medical field.
Thank you, Seth Edward from Indiana. Ladies and gentlemen, Seth Edward will be with the Bloodstained Men Road Crew for the remainder of this tour. Tomorrow in Hattiesburg, Mississippi, and then this weekend, the big one in New Orleans, the AAP convention in New Orleans. And we're going to hold those doctors accountable, Seth Edward. We're going to hold them accountable for what they're doing to our nation, to our sons. Yeah,
I'm looking forward to being at the AAP, and it'll be my third year confronting the doctors at the AAP, and they're going to know my face by the time it's over.
They won't come out and look us in the eye, Seth Edward.
Nope. Yeah, they're already hiding in fear. They're cowards.
They're ashamed of what they're doing, and yet they're compelled to do it.
Yep. Yeah. So it'll be good to be there and confront them again this year. I'm gonna have my "Try to cut me now, you fucking cowards" sign again, and I'll be there on the front lines, following them out as they're walking in.
And I'll bring up all the live action, ladies and gentlemen, from New Orleans this weekend, right here on Bloodstained Men and Their Friends. Thank you for joining us here on today's live broadcast from Southern Mississippi. Mississippi State University. We'll be in Southern Mississippi tomorrow. From Mississippi State University, you can see students are stopping and talking to intactivists.
Most of the this was done to us when we were children, and so we're spreading awareness to prevent the future generations of having to suffer what happened to us.
Cool beans.
Did you get an info card?
I have one right here.
Cool. Thank you.
Brittany, you ask where we will be in Hattiesburg. I don't have the intersection memorized, but if you go on bloodstainedmen.com or bloodstainedmen.org, there's an upcoming events tab, and you will see the Hattiesburg event. If you click on that, it will bring up the Facebook event page, which gives the intersection. Let's see if actually David Atkinson may recall the intersection. I know it's near the university. David Atkinson, one of our viewers, Brittany Pierce, has said, where will you be in Hattiesburg? And I just told her briefly how to find it. Do you recall the name of the intersection?
Hardy Street and 50-something Street. I'm not totally sure, but it's the southeast corner of the university. It's a big, like the biggest intersection in town happens to be right there.
And do you recall any of the stores near there?
I do not.
But it's there adjacent to the university, isn't it?
Yeah. And you can find it on our Facebook page as well. On the event page, the event location is listed there.
And like I said, you can find that event, Brittany, you can find that event through our website under upcoming events, and we have them all numbered and listed on our upcoming events page on bloodstainedmen.com. Ladies and gentlemen, I will move around and let you see. This is just a really, really receptive student body here at Mississippi State University in Starkville. We're at the Student Union. Hundreds of students have been passing by us all day long. We've handed out a lot of info cards, had so many conversations. I'm just going to show you some of the action, ladies and gentlemen.
Would you like a card?
The neighbor lady tells you, I think Foreskin's are nasty. Well, that's a good reason to say my son. My neighbor doesn't like it. Yeah, it's something really to think about. Yeah, but there is Brother K. This is Brother K. He's the guy that started this. This gentleman, I forgot your name. I'm Jeff. Who are you? Josh. He was telling me that he was in his philosophy class today, or yesterday.
I've actually got class in 5 minutes. I'm really sorry.
I just want to say that his philosophy teacher told him to think about this issue.
Great, great. So
Have a
his
good day,
philosophy
Josh.
teacher saw us out here and brought it up?
His philosophy teacher knew we were coming and said he wanted them to think about this issue, which I thought was pretty interesting.
Great.
Already
So
was.
we've got friends on the faculty that are talking about Bloodstained Men here on the campus at Mississippi State University today.
Yep. Awesome.
And you can see, Seth, a lot of people are taking pictures and posting them. What we're finding is college students are not on Facebook by and large. They are on Instagram and Snapchat.
Yep.
It is, and I try to explain to people too. Like when I was 16, that was my first interaction with an intact man. And actually, when I was 16, it didn't happen again until I was 29. So that's a long time. 13 years, 2 intact men in 13 years. That's a really long time, in my opinion. But anyway, I was 16. Like I didn't really know much about penis anyway.
Right. Yeah.
So it was like when I looked at it, I was like, oh, that's a little different. But I wasn't like, that's disgusting. Pull your pants up and leave.
Yeah,
I don't think anyone would ever do that. They would, you know, yeah, I would hope not. And honestly, if someone was going to do that to you,
they're not a good person.
yes,
They're not a good person.
respect your body and leave. And leave and hold your head high knowing there's nothing wrong with you, there's something wrong with that person.
Don't ever be with anyone who
So I think most of the shaming comes from men.
And Kayla says, hi from Kentucky, 4 hours into our road trip. See you all in 2 days. And that's Kayla Cuglieri and her husband Tony, I believe, and their children. So Kayla Cuglieri will be in New Orleans with us. Wonderful, wonderful. Looking forward to seeing you there, Kayla. You and your beautiful family. How'd you get our card?
Yeah, I got one.
Awesome, thank you. And you can see we have people coming by that have already gotten our card. It's just really busy here outside the Student Union at Mississippi State University, ladies and gentlemen. The noon hour here in Starkville, Mississippi.
Go ahead, Neil.
Trying to give you an overview of what's going on here. You can see there are just so many conversations going on, people taking pictures. Celeste has gotten up on the planter now.
Well, what about disease? That's the number one comment that I hear. What about disease? People are just so obsessed with these like diseases that aren't even a thing. Like men are infected in Europe and they're not just walking around with infected like
And Britta Baki, may I interrupt just for a second because I know I'd like to introduce Taylor. Taylor, you are a senior here at Mississippi State, and you know a lot about this issue already. We've had some good conversations with you. James Lowen interviewed you. What have you learned out here today that you didn't know before today?
Well, firstly, I learned about your organization, your movement. I didn't know that this was actually something that people, I knew that I was concerned about it, but I had never heard of an organization that was out here promoting these ideas. So that was a big thing that I learned about. And I also have learned a lot of interesting facts about like the male genital in general, like how the foreskin is tied into everything. I didn't really realize it went that far. So the extent of the mutilation is news to me somewhat. So that's been all very interesting to learn about.
And James Lowen actually interviewed you. What any points that you talked to him about that stick out?
Let's see. I think he kind of just talked to me about my experience for the day. So not really. We kind of just talked about my thoughts about everything. But I really enjoyed the interview. James is awesome. He's so nice.
And you're a senior here.
Yes.
What is your field?
Psychology.
Psychology. So obviously you feel there's profound psychological dimensions to this issue, aren't there?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think guilt has a lot to do with it. I've talked about this with James a little bit.
Guilt.
Guilt. Yes, I think a lot of people are not receptive to hearing about this because they feel, especially parents, they feel maybe some guilt over the fact that they were, somewhat duped into doing or having their child circumcised, and that can cause a lot of defensiveness. I think no one wants to be told that you mutilated your child because that's not how they see it. They are told this story about how it is actually medically necessary and how it will help your child, and that's just not true. And so a lot of people feel guilty about doing it, and I think that makes them shut down and not want to talk about it. I think that has a lot to do with it.
Yeah, and we talked about that earlier today, and that is one of the themes that we deal with in the anti-activist movement is how do we get through to those parents who have already circumcised a boy?
Well, I think you guys are doing a great job of this, but obviously you don't want to blame them. Clearly it's not their fault. They were told something that wasn't true. They had no way of knowing it, especially new parents who are young. You just believe what your doctor says and what society says. So I guess it's getting them to understand that you're not coming at it from an attacking point of view. You don't want to attack them and make them feel bad about it. You just want to spread the knowledge. So I think that's a lot.
And I always point out that who does the cutting? Who holds the knife?
Yeah, not
That's
wrong.
where the knife stops at the doctor.
Right.
The parents could not circumcise their babies without
Without
doctors
doctor.
offering to do it and
Right.
willing to do it.
Right.
These doctors are committing.
How are you doing?
How you doing, sir?
Great to meet you.
I'm Brother K.
Coming to Mississippi State.
And what's your name, sir?
Jess Miller, how you doing?
Jess, have you come out to join us or just to say hi?
I'm just coming here to say hi. Do you mind if I get a picture with
No,
you?
no. How do you know of us?
So I heard about a month ago, administration told me y'all be coming out, you let us know, and I was just like, hey, I can't wait to come see them, see what they stand for and everything.
And are you with the faculty here? Are you a student?
1, 2, 3. No, sir, I'm just a student.
Student. And have you seen the Tosh show?
Tasha?
Tosh.0?
5.0?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I haven't watched it in a minute, no.
I was on Tosh 4 weeks ago.
Really? Okay, I'll go check that out.
Yeah, you can find that on our. You got our card, right?
Oh, I do not. Thank you.
We've embedded it on our website.
Thank you.
So, had you heard of the Bloodstained Men before?
Yeah, we looked up after we heard y'all were coming. I mean, I'd seen pictures of y'all before, but you know, I'm a free speech activist in any way possible, and I think anyone should stand for whatever they want. And so y'all coming out here and representing what you guys stand for, it's beautiful to see.
And
in
you-
any aspect.
And you say the administration. You heard of us coming through
Yeah,
the
didn't you
administration in
guys
some way?
You guys notified the administration y'all were going to
Right.
be here,
And
right?
how did you become aware of that?
Oh, they just I'm within the student association, so they just told us y'all were coming.
So they published it in a newsletter,
No,
or
they just let us know, just by word of mouth. They were just
awesome.
like,
So
hey,
you're
just-
with the student government here.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah, but yeah, we're all about free speech activism and whatnot. So we have groups coming out here all the time. We're just like, yeah, come out.
Well, I have to tell you, this has just been a very, very receptive student body here today for us.
We're nice. We're nice people.
Yeah, really, but curious too.
Yeah, very. We want to, you know, anyone comes out here with signs, especially like these, they want to know. They want to know what's going on.
Awesome. Well, hang around a while, and there's a lot of people here that will talk to you.
I got class here in 5 minutes, but we appreciate it.
Great,
y'all.
great.
Thank
Well,
you.
thanks for stopping by and introducing yourself. Thank you. You can see, ladies and gentlemen, here we are live at Mississippi State University. A couple have stopped.
People's attention because we feel it's a very important message to get
I
out.
just don't really understand what like the damage is right now. Hey, Brennan, what are you doing?
The damage? Well, a lot of people don't realize that the normal penis has a self-lubricating moving part, and that the foreskin. And the foreskin is itself the most erogenous part of a man's genitals. So do you know how penis cutting got started in America? Because we didn't always do this to our boys.
Having to do with Judaism.
Brittany, we will be leaving Hattiesburg tomorrow. After tomorrow's protest, we will be leaving Hattiesburg at 3 o'clock. We have to drive to New Orleans for the weekend. So we will be in Hattiesburg tomorrow from 10 to 3 at that intersection adjacent to Southern Mississippi University. Today, ladies and gentlemen, you can see all the conversation. Ma'am, did you get our card yet? You can see, ladies and gentlemen, sir, did you get our card?
Yeah, let me see one.
So, ladies and gentlemen, you can see I've had an information card. Sir, have you ever heard of the Bloodstained Men before or known about this movement?
Nope.
What do you think seeing us out here? I see you're filming or photographing.
What is this for? So what's this for?
Anastasia, would you help me out here? This gentleman is asking, what are we out here for?
Oh, we're protesting against the genital cutting of children, trying to raise awareness. Everyone is entitled to the body they were born with. Consent, body autonomy, very important. One of the most important things there are. And if you don't have the right to your own body, if anyone can do whatever they want to you, then what's the point of being alive and being human?
It's done on purpose. I guess.
You get it, sir? I heard you say you got it.
I got it.
It should be a man's choice, sir. Thank you. So Anastasia, remarkable student body here. This might be the friendliest student body yet. What do you think?
Yeah, it's definitely out there. Very friendly. Everyone's receptive. Even people, like, we have people who are really argumentative, but like will have arguments with you, like, and will actually talk to you and try and learn something. And we've had people who started really pretty hostile and have already, like, I personally have had people who came up pretty hostile, and then through talking to them, they walk away like, I get it, makes sense. And it's like they're very open-minded to information, which is really nice. That's something you like to see in a school. Like, that girl over there has been here for a while and been arguing with people, and now she's taking pictures in front of the sign. So
These
the girl with the
three,
curly ponytail, yeah.
right?
She's been here a little
Three
bit.
women walking away over there. Yeah, it's remarkable. People can actually change their mind out here
Yeah.
as they talk to us and see us. Celeste Melody Lyons, we saw you just speak briefly to a college woman. You gave her a card. What happened, if you recall?
I just educated her real quick, and she was very thankful.
It doesn't take much, does it?
No, a lot of these students have open minds and are ready to learn. It's amazing. Just been talking to students all day and educating them, and they're having their minds blown. And we've got a lot of Christians here, and so luckily I know my Bible verses, and I've been teaching them about their religion, and they have been thankful. Because a lot of the Christians don't apparently know. They open their phones, they look up the verses that I tell them to look up, Galatians and Philippians, and they look them up and they thank me.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, because American Christians have been misled into believing that they have to follow the Old Testament on this thing,
Yeah.
and it's just completely false.
And we have a lot of Catholic Christians here, and I let them know that the Catholic Church officially denounced circumcision in 1442, and they don't know that, and now they do. So hopefully they'll go tell all their other Christian friends.
Thank you, Celeste Medley Lyons. I'm trying to read the comment. I missed that. I'm sorry, Joe Walsh. I see you left. It looked like an interesting comment. Just as I was focusing my eyes, it's bright out here. Just as I was focusing my eyes to read it, it went off the screen. So I'm not quite sure. Danny Alexander, yes, thank you, Danny Alexander. But you can see, ladies and gentlemen, just everywhere I walk, you're seeing new conversations. People stop and talk for a bit. Just amazing. And you can see, here's Ryan Lessel talking to a man. And I'm not going to barge in on these conversations. There's a lot of background noise here, ladies and gentlemen. People are enjoying the noon hour. Jeff Graves, we've got a really friendly student body, a curious student body here, don't we?
I've talked to more people today than I've ever talked to in my life. It's been a lot of fun.
It's a remarkable university here.
Yes, they're very open. They're very curious. They want to talk about it, and I've just had a lot of fun with it.
Mississippi State University in Starkville, and we are just seeing so many receptive minds to the truth and the facts of this horrifying thing, this disgusting thing that American doctors have done to our sons.
Yes, and it's been very refreshing to talk to the students.
And ladies and gentlemen, Jeff Graves from Los Angeles. Genital integrity is a human right.
There are other risks too, like the psychological harm that a trauma that stage of life causes. Like babies don't breastfeed as readily as when they've been cut and subjected to that trauma.
MRIs show that the pain is so extreme that trauma rewires the brain and logic in the areas of logic and reasoning, because babies don't know what happening. They give them anesthesia.
David Atkinson, a remarkable day here at the Mississippi State University.
This is fantastic. There's people all day long walking past, and sometimes we go to universities where they come in waves when classes get out, but here it's like all day long there's people coming past and talking to us.
I'll just turn as you're talking here, and you can just see more. Ladies and gentlemen, you can just see it's just a constant stream of students.
Yeah.
And what do you think about everyone's noted the curiosity and the open minds of the student body here, David Atkinson?
Yeah, we're having a great day. People are walking up to us and asking questions, and there have been very few, if any, angry people. So it's been a fantastic day, and it's still early.
And Danny Alexander is watching, and she has a nice comment for David Atkinson. I'll let you see that later, David Atkinson.
Cool.
Thank you, Danny Alexander. I know we will see Danny Alexander this weekend in New Orleans.
Yeah, that will be awesome. I'll talk to her then. I know we're hoping to do some some more of these doctor's office protests, if there's any good busy intersections there too, because that seems to be a...
You mean in New Orleans?
Not in New Orleans, but just in the future.
In the future.
If there's any good intersections where we can have doctor office protests, because that seems we've had apparently some success with that recently.
I'm still confused about this. That woman was just like bombarding me. She was going after me. I was just trying to understand y'all's views. Like,
well, it should be your choice how much of your penis you get to keep.
Yeah. I mean, I'm still confused. So.
Well, why don't you think you deserve the right to keep your whole penis?
Because I don't have that decision when I'm a day old.
Well, when you're a day old, do you have the right to keep your feet and your nose and your earlobes?
Yeah, because by law I do, but also by law my parents have the right to circumcise me.
So what's so special about the foreskin that that's the one body part that someone can steal from you?
It's not stealing to me.
Well, why don't you think your foreskin is valuable?
Why don't I think it's valuable?
Do you understand the functions of the foreskin?
Explain to me.
Well, the average adult foreskin is the size of this Bloodstained Men info card. It's a double layer of skin, so it folds in half and wraps around, and this is what covers the head of the penis in the intact male. The outer foreskin is like an extension of the shaft skin. The inner foreskin is a mucous membrane, like the inside of your lip or the inside of your eyelid. And then in between these two skin layers, you have the dartos fascia muscle tissue. That's the same muscle in the scrotum that responds to temperature to bring the testicles closer to the body if it gets cold. It works the same way with the foreskin and the head of the penis. There's also lots of blood vessels in here. There's lots of nerve pathways that terminate in these Meissner's corpuscles, which are very fine touch nerve endings like you have in your fingertips and in your lips and in the clitoral hood in the female. That's the analogous structure to the male foreskin. So these fine touch nerve endings exist in the tip of the foreskin, like the lips of the foreskin, this mucocutaneous junction where the inner foreskin meets the outer foreskin. And so this entire structure is destroyed when it's amputated, and then the head of the penis becomes an external organ, which is not supposed to be. It should be warm and moist and protected all the time, like your eyeball or your tongue. Instead, it's drying out, it's rubbing up against the underwear, it gets covered with this layer of keratin, which is like a callus. So not only do you lose the sensation in the part of the penis that was destroyed, but what remains is further desensitized because those nerve endings in the head of the penis are hidden beneath this layer of keratin. And also that messes with the mechanics of intercourse, because when the foreskin's not there, every time the man comes out of his partner, the lubrication is caught behind the coronal ridge and drawn out into the air, where it will dry out. But if the foreskin's there, it will retract on the way in, and it will cover the head of the penis on the way out. And so there's a huge market for artificial lubrication in American pharmacies. They don't have this problem in Europe and Asia and South America, where the men's penises are working the way they were designed. So it's a very destructive thing to do to the human penis, and that's why it should be your choice whether or not somebody does it to you.
Yeah. Well, like I said this to you before, and this doesn't matter. It doesn't. But I'm a Christian. It doesn't matter what your religious beliefs are, but if you have any or not, it doesn't matter. But I'm a Christian, and I try to be exactly how Jesus was, and Jesus was circumcised. So whether it's right or not, I try to be how he was.
Well, Jesus also was hung up on a cross and tortured to death. So
well,
I mean,
yeah,
I don't want.
I mean, I'm not going that deep into it. I don't want that to happen.
But penis mutilation is totally fine with you.
It is, yes, because it's already happened to me. So why does it matter now?
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. It's fine with him to have his penis mutilated.
It's fine. It's fine with me.
What's going on here?
It's fine with me.
David
completely.
David Atkinson, ladies and gentlemen, the even-tempered David Atkinson. Even David has lost his patience. The man says it's fine with him to lose part of his penis, and I believe he's walked off. David Atkinson, you reached the end of your patience with that man, and I think it's.
I had to come over and see what's happening.
I think also, David Atkinson, we do run into that. I think it's a question of you gave that man a lot of energy. Our viewers saw what you explained to him, and yet was he listening with one? Was it going in one ear and out the other?
It might not have even gone in one ear. But maybe he got some of it, and maybe he'll figure it out someday. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't have made it clearer.
Yeah.
I was talking to a guy earlier at the beginning of the day, and he was saying that it's a good thing to cut it off because with it that men would enjoy sex too much.
Oh, now Danny Alexander makes an interesting point. She says he was too high to listen. So Danny Alexander.
Yes. The most basic fundamental human right there is the right to your own body.
Yeah.
So we shouldn't be
But
shoving.
we need to do this on the drill field. We don't do circumcisions on the drill field. Why?
We are educating the students before they have their children so that their children can be left normal.
And this is the best way to do it.
Yeah, actually, it's great. It's a great outreach.
And ladies and gentlemen, you saw this woman try to shove my camera out of my hand.
Yes, I did, because it's in my face and you're imposing
You
on
walked
my
up to me,
rights.
ma'am. I did not move. I was right here.
No, you put that
Are
in
you a
my
professor
face.
here, ma'am? Are you a parent? Parent of a student? Okay, so you're an outraged parent to see free speech. So you're an outraged parent.
No, you're putting words in my mouth.
No, I'm asking you. That was a question.
Why are you so upset?
Because this is so gross and it's inappropriate.
Don't you think it's gross to be chopping up little babies at birth?
Yes, I do.
And, yeah.
Yes, I do. Which
So
is why
it
I'm
is.
against abortion. This.
Well, there's babies bleeding out. Over 3,000 babies a day are strapped down.
Is your mom embarrassing you?
Fully conscious on the most sensitive part of their body, and over 120
Is your mom
babies.
embarrassing you? Could
Over
you ask a more
120
leading question?
I asked her, and she said you're not her mom. So I was reassured.
But what a leading
You came up and introduced
So
yourself
babies are
as the mother
dying?
of a student here.
of multiple
Babies are dying from this, so it's
Boys,
really
as a
important.
matter of fact.
Did you circumcise them?
Yes, I did. And I'm okay with it.
But probably because you haven't researched it, though.
You're exactly right. I did it completely out of ignorance.
Yeah, that's what most people.
only way
That's what most people do.
anyone would ever do.
Right. So what did you think? What did you think? What did you think that you were doing it for? What personal reasons belong on your son's penises?
And ladies and gentlemen, the woman has gotten fed up with learning new
I
things.
asked her why she circumcised, and she said for personal reasons. I said,
Child molester.
and I said,
That's a child molester right there.
she said for personal reasons, and I said, what personal reasons belong on your son's penis? And she couldn't handle it.
And Danny
Right
Alexander
away.
says circumrage.
Yeah.
Lizzie Schubert says, whoa, this woman is whack.
Yeah, she was really wild.
James Lowen, you saw the action here. The woman came up and shoved the. She reminded me of Brianna Oster, who shoved the camera out of my, or tried to. She came up and actually shoved my camera. I think our viewers may have seen her hand.
She did.
My camera.
She was very angry.
I did not see
I had
that.
to keep a firm grip on it.
I just saw her saying
Outraged.
something and her
Outraged.
face, and I thought
She's circumraged.
She's
She
angry.
cut her children, and she has circumrage.
And here's a woman taking our, and this young woman was here, and I thought because the other woman had referred to her that she was the parent, but this was a student just standing by to take our picture, and I wondered if she was the daughter, the student daughter of the mother who was just out here. Danny Alexander says, be careful, she's really aggressive. Natasha Griffin says, you all have a lot of patience. Not always, right, Celeste?
I think I have a lot of patience.
Remarkable display of, and here's another conversation going on. Jeff Graves is talking to three women here. Ladies and gentlemen, we are at Mississippi State University. Brittany Pierce says, I hate that most people say that they cut because that's what they prefer in a man. Why would you, not sure what word you intended there, that looks like a voice to text era, a baby.
It's horrifying. It's just horrifying. And Ron's measuring, they strap that baby boy down into a circle strength. It's a board where he's strapped down, spread eagle, and then they start cutting him. And it's just a scream. Sometimes they pass out in neurogenic shock, they vomit, they defecate. I mean, it's just a nightmare. I talked to one surgical assistant who said he helped with them. I said, what's it like? He goes, it's painful for everybody. For the doctors, for the people doing it, but they go, we have to do it. They don't have to do it. They don't have to do it. There's no need to do it. Just leave them alone. All right?
It is.
Questions? You guys talk about it. Talk among yourselves.
He flew out to from Los Angeles to do this with us.
That's awesome.
I came from California. The tall man over there came from Hawaii. We've come from all over.
Yeah, traveling south.
Had you ever heard of this issue before today, ma'am?
I had not.
Did you know we were going to be here today?
I did not.
You didn't know? We were at Ole Miss yesterday.
Yeah, we saw that.
Wait, I did see that. Wait.
How did you see we were at Ole Miss?
It was on social media.
Social media, yeah. We're hearing that from other people.
Good.
So you weren't totally surprised when you saw us here then? Yeah, we're actually going to be at Southern Mississippi tomorrow in Hattiesburg.
I'll tell her.
If you have friends, if you have friends in Hattiesburg at Southern Mississippi, tell them we'll be there tomorrow. We're not going to be at the Union. We're going to be on a corner adjacent to the university there.
Thanks for stopping.
Bye-bye. Have a good one.
Oh, sorry.
And ladies and gentlemen, I have the honor of introducing you to little Legacy Blossom, and she is now 2 months old. And her middle name Blossom is in honor of my own daughter, Blossom. And here's proud mom, Courtney Shin.
Hello.
And Courtney, I got to hold this sweet little baby last night.
Yes.
Probably 10 minutes, and she just looked at me so beautifully.
She did.
How's she doing today?
She's doing great. Like, seriously, like, no fussing and crying. She's been a great little helper. You know, a lot of people don't want to turn down cards when you have a cute baby on you. So, I mean, it's been great having her out here, and she was great in the carrier, but I wanted to hold her. But she's loving it. She's loving being out here.
Oh, really? Oh, how interesting. How interesting. Well, it's really interesting, and it's exciting out here, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
I mean, see, all these students are so happy to talk to us. And, yeah, it's been remarkable.
I'm loving it.
Austin Mercury says, hey, Courtney Shin. Natasha Griffin says, hello, Legacy Blossom. And Courtney Shin, I know that your husband supports you in this work. Your husband is watching. You have another child, Justice. I keep wanting to call him Baby Justice, but he's growing up. He's a big boy now, isn't he?
He is. He's 3.
But he was the first baby to tour with Bloodstained Men, and now we have the second baby to tour with Bloodstained Men.
Yes.
You drove in from Alabama last night. You're going to be with us for the next 4 days through New Orleans. And what's it like to be a mom and bringing a baby on tour with the Bloodstained Men?
You know, so many people were like worried about it, but it's actually really great and easy. Everyone is a big help. I haven't noticed it being that hard. You just kind of know your kid, bring your stuff, and come on out. Bring your kids. It's really been great.
And when we say our protests are family friendly, we mean it.
Oh yeah, definitely family friendly. I've never had a problem with my babies out here. It's only been positive.
Lizzie Schubert says, hey, Courtney, thanks for being there today.
Thank you.
And I'm sorry, I don't know who said the comment right above Lizzie's. Your name is off the screen. I'm so in love. Talking about little baby Blossom here.
She's such a sweet baby.
You guys do God's work. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's Parker Lever. Gwendolyn Marie says, hi, Courtney Shin. Beautiful baby girl.
Thank you.
And it's just a remarkable day here
Yes.
at Mississippi State University in Starkville.
It's great because not only are we educating the youth, but I've noticed a lot of men will now come and speak out. We actually had a guy talk to us and said that he was thinking of getting circumcised because he's intact. And we talked to him about it. He's like, yeah, I'm definitely doing more research. He's like, I'm definitely probably not going to do it.
Did he say why he was thinking of it?
He did not. He didn't. But I wonder if it's just kind of the stigma kind of stuff.
We know the social pressure.
Social pressure. But once we kind of talked to him, then he was just like, oh yeah, I don't think I'm gonna do it. And he's like, yeah, I don't want a card. It was all great. We've had great conversations out here, and that's what I love. It's like it's not just talking to people of education. It's also confirming men who have ever been shy about it. That there's nothing to be shy about. You're born this way. You're perfect. You know.
Thank you, Courtney
Thank
Shin,
you.
and we will talk to you
Gotta try to
again
get the wind out
tomorrow.
of her face.
The wind is picking up now. And here's a man with his camera taking pictures, ladies and gentlemen. Sir, did you get our card? Did you get our card yet?
Oh, yes, sir, I got one.
You got our cards. Did you know we would be here, sir?
No, sir, I didn't.
Hey, did you know there was a movement to educate parents about this?
No, sir, I didn't. I'm actually just learning about this stuff myself. I didn't know like all of the, the things that come with circumcision. I'm new to this myself. It's kind of scary when you think about it.
What would you say, what have you learned out here today that is most struck your mind with surprise?
I didn't know the dangers of circumcision as far as like you could die from it.
Babies die and they lose their penis.
They lose their penis, erectile dysfunction.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's a lot, man. Stuff I didn't know.
And we have all the links on our website. We have all the links that will give you the scientific studies that
yes, sir.
back up our information.
Yeah, I will be sure to do my research when I look at that. So it's kind of cool. I have to educate myself on it because I don't know much about it myself.
Awesome.
Yeah, so.
And if you have friends at Southern Mississippi, we'll be in Hattiesburg tomorrow. Let your friends in Southern Mississippi know.
Okay, that's perfect. I got a couple of friends that go to school down there, so I'll let them guys. I'll let them know when I get back to my car. So.
Awesome.
Appreciate you talking.
Thank you,
to
sir.
me,
Thank you for talking to us here on Facebook Live. Ladies and gentlemen, you can see another conversation going on over here. Let's go listen in if we can.
Even if they have to roll it back and rinse it.
The part that you're saying, the part that you're claiming is dirty, is the most erogenous part. It's the most sensitive part of the penis. And on a normal penis, it's self-lubricating moving parts that plays important mechanical functions during sex, the way nature intended it. And aren't you curious to experience sex as nature intended, the way God made you?
I mean, not necessarily. I mean, it's like someone who was. You can't go ask a person who was born without a particular limb if they miss having an arm because they never experienced what it's like, right? So you have nothing to really miss.
Well, they can intellectually understand.
I mean, sure, they can think about it.
Yeah, they can talk to other people that have both limbs.
I mean, say I didn't get circumcised right when I was, right out of the womb. Maybe I waited 5-10 years. Maybe I'd be more apt to think, maybe I wonder what it was like. But having no recollection of even having foreskin, I don't really have anything that's telling me to want to experience it.
Well, there are adult men that have been cut. They've been cut as adults, right?
Yeah, we were talking about that.
Oh, you did? Yeah. Some of them have described it losing their foreskin to losing the ability to see in color. They say that their sexual experience before they were cut was a much richer sensory experience.
So we're talking men who went through life and then got cut and then
as adults,
continued.
yeah. Some men have described it as the worst mistake they ever made in their lives.
I've never met someone who was an adult when they got cut. So
yeah, it's rare, but it happens, and they can provide that perspective with both experiences.
Yeah.
And one of our viewers says, watching this, says they can intellectually understand they were robbed even without sensing it.
Yeah, and women, you can talk to women that have had sexual partners that were both intact and cut, and a lot of the women, like the women here that are with us today, say that sex is better with foreskin for men and their partners.
And one mom
you don't want
watching.
men to feel like cut men to feel bad for.
That would definitely be up to my opinion, though.
Right, but
it comes down to the person.
Exactly.
So are y'all,
which is all we
on the topic of abortion, are y'all pro-choice or pro-life?
We don't have a stance on that. We have a mix of views in the group, but we don't take any stance.
Okay, because
And so, ladies and gentlemen, you can see that one of the men has just tried to change the subject, which we see all the time. I will go back in a few minutes. How you doing, sir? Did you get our card?
Y'all are exactly right.
Thank you.
Thank you for taking us to.
Awesome. Thank you. Sir, can you tell us why you shook my hand and thanked me? I mean, this is important. We're live on Facebook, and you said we're exactly right.
I think it's an old idea. It's outdated, and I think we need to take a step back and reevaluate.
Awesome. Do you have any European friends? Because they don't circumcise in Europe.
Well, my wife's Canadian, and they don't do it as much up there. So,
Right.
And I lived overseas for a long time, so I know it's not something that everybody does.
Awesome. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your support.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, here we are at Mississippi State University in Starkville. You can see it, just a lot of activity, a lot of people stopping and talking to us.
Remember, babies grow into adults. So when you cut a baby, you're forcing something on them, on the adult that they become. I'm mad that my parents cut me and forced that forced penis cutting on me when I was a baby and I was too young to speak up for myself. This penis cutting is something I never would have chosen for myself. I mean, cutting off the most sensitive part of my penis is crazy. I know I never would have chosen that. I have no other extreme body modifications.
So you're cutting off the sensitive part.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you kind of like, if it's sensitive, then it's not going to feel good. So wouldn't you?
No, it's the most. Well, it's also the most erogenous part. It's sexual sensitivity. It gives a man more control over his orgasm. Just gives him a richer sexual experience than, because it contains 3/4 of the nerves of the penis.
In the foreskin?
Yeah.
The most sensitive part of the penis that's left after circumcision is the circumcision scar.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, it's
sad,
a cruel irony. I mean, it should be a man's choice, and we're here trying to educate young men. Don't let doctors talk you into doing it to your son. It stops with us. Did you get our card?
It's a lot of information, you guys. It's a lot of information. Get on Netflix and look up the film American Circumcision. That's a good film that looks at both sides. And I don't know how anyone could watch that and still think it's a good idea to cut a healthy body part off their babies.
You ever see the Tosh.0 show on Comedy Central?
I've seen it a few times, yeah.
I was on Tosh 4 weeks ago.
Really?
Yeah.
For this?
For this, yeah.
Yeah.
So if you if you want to see, he put it on YouTube, so it's embedded on our website. If you just go to our website, or you can just go on Tosh.0. I mean, go on YouTube and type in the search bar Tosh.0 Brother K. I'm Brother K. Yeah, and Tosh is on our side. Tosh asked me a lot. Tosh is on our side. He asked me a lot of the same questions you're asking, and he's on our side.
Is he a cool guy?
Absolutely, he's legit.
He's a pretty funny guy.
Yeah, he's legit.
What's the YouTube channel called?
Bonobo 3D is where some of these.
Are you on? Go on YouTube. If you in the YouTube search bar type in Tosh.
What's y'all's YouTube channel?
Oh.
Y'all got one?
It's just look up Bloodstained Men, right?
Well, that would be Bonobo 3D.
Oh.
Yeah.
So,
Bonobo. Is that primate?
He is on your side.
That's better.
Awesome. So, sir, what's your name?
I'm Dylan.
Dylan, and your friends have introduced you with big smiles. So clearly, you are a popular friend, and they like you. So tell us why you're standing here and in support of what we're doing.
Well, I myself am circumcised.
Are not?
I'm not circumcised.
Where were you born?
I was born in Atlanta.
Atlanta, okay.
And my parents just told me that they didn't feel it was necessary. Thought it was a terrible idea because there's just no medical reasoning behind it.
Now, who you say your parents? Did they sit down and talk, or was it your mom or your dad?
It was my mom mostly.
And how old were you when she had that talk with you?
I was 14 or 15. They were both raised Catholic. Left the Catholic Church because they were shunned for that.
Shunned for not circumcising you?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Is that what she told you during this conversation?
Yes.
So we have heard that some young attacked men get shamed, like some of their friends, like there's junior high locker room and stuff. Were you ever teased about it?
I did get a lot of teasing for it.
Is that why she had the conversation with you?
Yes.
And some men buckle to the pressure and get circumcised. We talked to someone earlier today. I'm not sure if I was live at the time, but how your mother helped you overcome that the bullying?
Yes, she helped me feel confident in the fact that it's my body and it's not something I should have to feel I need to do.
Let me give you 2 cards. That's a card for you.
Thank you.
And here's a card for your mom.
Thank you very much.
And tell her that she was ahead of her time, and that you owe her a hug and a kiss from the Bloodstained Men. And that second card is for her, and really, you got a great mom, and she was ahead of her time, and And I know after seeing us today, you even appreciate more the blessing. And I mean, all parents love their sons, love their children,
Absolutely.
but doctors are deceiving parents. Did she tell you, were they pressured into cutting you?
Religiously, yes. But not medically.
Religiously, and the irony is the Catholics do not circumcise. The popes are not circumcised. Catholics do not circumcise. But there are some Catholics who, for some reason, have gotten the idea that Catholics circumcise. They don't. And all the popes have been intact men, not cut.
I got a question.
Have you seen that? You know for a fact?
Well, they're all Italians. Italians don't.
I'm Italian. I'm Italian.
They're all.
Full blown.
Is your
Full blown.
Were you born in Italy?
No, sir.
Well, if you were born in Italy, you would be intact.
What about your grandparents? Yeah, no, my
I got a
grandparents came
question.
straight from Italy.
Yeah, yes, sir.
I had a woman saying that she was Catholic, and Catholics don't believe in circumcision. Is that right?
That's correct. The Catholic Catechism opposes, and here's they're going to take the picture. Let me get see that. And this is Dylan.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing that. And what's your mom's first name?
Christina.
Christina. Shout out to Christina, Dylan's mom in Atlanta, Georgia. And thank Dylan. You can show your mom this live broadcast. It's on our Facebook page. This Facebook page is called Bloodstained Men and Their Friends, and it's on that card I gave you. And Christina, thank you for keeping Dylan intact. You were ahead of your time. Your grandchildren will be intact, and we are fighting for the intact generation. All American men deserve the freedom of body that our founding fathers had. Our founding fathers were intact.
Are you live right now?
We're live on Facebook.
How many people are watching?
Right now we got 27 people watching, and this will end up with probably several thousand views. We've had a great reception here at Mississippi State University.
From around here?
I'm from California, Hawaii, Florida. We're from all over. And sir, you were asking me a question. I don't know if I finished answering it or not.
Yeah, no.
On the Catholic issue.
Yes,
Let me see if I can get some.
That's fine. That's not a big issue. I'm just more concerned.
There's a lot of
y'all's agenda, like y'all's, because I've been.
Our agenda is the human rights of American men, and ultimately of boys and girls, the future men and women of the world. Because there are some cultures that actually circumcise girls too, and for them it's the same thing as circumcising boys. They call it by the same word. And they view it as the same thing, that it's cleaner and healthier for a girl to be circumcised. It's absolutely outrageous.
So, are you ahead of this operation?
I founded the Bloodstained Men and Their Friends in 2012.
Okay. Yeah. And props to you. Glad you're standing for what you believe in, but I just don't believe in it. I don't believe in that.
Can you explain?
Based on my religious beliefs, I just believe that all children should be circumcised.
So you're Jewish then,
I'm
or
not.
Muslim?
I'm Christian.
Well, it's Christians do not believe in circumcision.
Well, Jesus Christ was
Luke
circumcised.
Artanis.
Jesus Christ was circumcised.
Yes, he was crucified too, but we don't crucify children.
Oh yeah, obviously.
Here's our religion expert, sir, and Luke Artanis. This young man believes that all Christians should be circumcised, and that it's part of the Christian religion.
You have to read the whole Bible, not just the Old Testament.
Well, what does it say in the New Testament?
The people who say that you have to cut your penis should go castrate themselves.
I don't even know what that means.
That means cut your balls off.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
The Bible says that.
I need my balls.
Exactly.
Give a reference for that tonight?
Yeah, it's Philippians chapter 3.
The thing is, there's stuff in the Bible that's obviously things we shouldn't do, but.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to want to listen to the discussion about the Bible, because it shows a lack of reading on his part. He clearly has not read the Bible. We do run into that occasionally, people who believe the Bible tells them, and that's the Old Testament. But to me, it's a moot argument, because doctors aren't supposed to be doing religious surgery on babies. The United States, we have the separation of church and state. Hospitals should not be doing religious surgery. So even if it were true, which it's not, that Christians believe in circumcision, they do not. Even if it were true, doctors have no authority to do religious surgery on babies in hospitals and medical clinics. And for me, that's the bottom line. But it's much more interesting, ladies and gentlemen, to see the students who really want to learn.
Right. Yeah. And
I told them, hey, this group is out here now. You guys should come out here.
Yeah.
But they're like, oh, I don't want to waste my time arguing, and so I wrote down the questions for them.
Oh,
so,
great.
I think I'll have some good answers to bring back to them.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if they're so buried in their own mindset, then it's hard to
you
get
can
them out.
plant the seeds and then the seeds will grow. And a lot of people get interested and will go do their own research and wake up. I've had people that, on my social media friends that have been argued with me for weeks about it and got really mad.
Yeah.
But then come back later. I've even had men come up to me and
Yes, I can't tell who's saying that because it scrolled off my screen. But yes, that young man talking about the religious, about Christians and circumcision, he did seem like he did appear to be the same guy, and yeah, he changed his shirt or something.
One pretty significant negative reaction. Have you guys had a lot of negative reactions from
not
us
today,
as student body?
not really. You
Okay.
guys have been pretty great.
Good.
We had some old parent lady that came up and was pretty enraged.
Oh, okay.
but-
Yeah. Okay.
But all the
I like to
students
think
have been
that
pretty cool.
as a university we're more open-minded.
Yeah.
And then just like with my friend group or whatnot, if I see people that aren't, then I try and relate that to them. I try and
Yeah.
open a door for them. Hey,
I
see
mean,
my perspective.
Most young people are pretty logical these days, and really all it takes is a shred of logic
Right.
to understand basic human rights to your own body.
And I'm a business major, and I was on the competitive debate team, so understanding both perspectives is key, and I think that's just key to life. Sure, you may not agree with it, but at least understand where they're coming from. So, but I completely agree with what you guys are doing. I think it's a movement that needs more support, and so I have all the social media things, so I'll definitely be sharing it and spreading the news.
Enlighten your friends.
And I came in as you all were talking. I see you referred to, you brought some questions from
Yes,
a group.
uh-huh.
Is that a class or?
I'm in it's actually on Snapchat. I'm in a little friend group of mine from high school, and I brought up the idea. I said, hey, they're out here if you guys want to check it out. And they said, oh, it's
he
stupid.
wrote down the question.
And how many people in the group?
It's less than 10. It's a pretty close-knit group.
Okay, great. And I see you wrote down. You've got. I'll just show
yeah,
our
my
viewers.
handwriting's pretty sloppy,
but you've written down questions there.
Yes, because all I received was opposition. Right. I was like, okay, maybe this is something worth exploring.
But your friends disagreed.
Yes.
Do you want to run by those? Can you read us a few of the questions you have there?
The first one was, they're engineering majors, so it's very analytical, statistical mindsets. So one said it has, the circumcision has to happen, 1 month of being born, so the pain receptors aren't as developed and it doesn't hurt as much for when you get older. And then they said circumcision reduces HIV by 40%, genital warts by 35%, herpes by 30%. And there's overall way more benefits and a better lifestyle.
So all the myths.
Yeah, right, essentially. And I came here so I could disprove them.
Right. There's an article in Psychology Today. It's what's the title of that? If you type in Psychology Today.
10 myths you believe, you
10
likely
myths.
believe about circumcision.
And if you just Google, like Celeste said, 10 myths you likely believe with the search term Psychology Today, and that'll bring it up. And it strikes down all those myths, really. And they're essentially old wives' tales.
Yeah, right.
Or references to deliberately fraudulent science.
Okay.
The circumcision industry has an arm that churns out stuff to propagate itself because they earn a billion or more a year.
It's a $1 billion industry.
Wow.
Yeah.
And one other big thing, it wasn't statistical based, but they said with the societal standard, someone who is uncircumcised, it just looks different, and they're more likely to get made fun of and all of that.
That's
So-
changing. That's changing.
It's changing, and we shouldn't be being the biggest bully to our sons to please hypothetical bullies in the future.
Can you tell us your first name, sir?
Jonathan.
Jonathan, and you can see this and show your friends this video on, it's on the Facebook page. We're live right now. The Facebook page on our info card is called Bloodstained Men and Their Friends.
Okay, awesome.
And,
Yeah,
and you'll
glad to
see,
show them.
you'll find us on Facebook.
Awesome.
And we're well into this broadcast, so you might have to skip ahead an hour or so.
Sounds good.
Thank you,
Awesome.
John.
Awesome. Thank you guys for coming out.
Thank you.
Hey John, since you're a supporter,
Celeste, remarkable conversations we're having here today at Mississippi State University in Starkville.
Yeah, a lot. Everybody's been really great. The dean's really nice. Most of the students have been really nice. Only that one old mom lady.
Did the dean? You said the dean?
Yeah.
Did the dean? I met the associate dean.
Oh, the associate dean. Yeah.
Right. Very nice. Yeah. But there was another man standing with him later, and I thought perhaps you had spoken to him.
Oh no, I talked to the associate dean just a minute ago. He was really nice and thanked me.
And he met us out here.
Yeah.
Thank you, Celeste.
Child has a right.
Now, I know you guys are out here for circumcision, but I've never heard also kind of tie into pro-life and abortion.
Yeah, we avoid that, but what we will say is this. If you're pro-choice, then you should give the boy his choice about his own body. If you're pro-life, you shouldn't be killing part of your son, because when you cut off part of his body, you're killing part of it. So whatever you feel about abortion, and we don't take a stand on that, there's a reason why you should reject circumcision.
I have the right. Right. Well, I mean, you're saying that you but
I'm coming because
you won't get down and cut off part of your penis right now.
Yeah.
I doubt it. You would fight back, right?
Definitely. Yes.
Well, what if I did it to you 18 years ago? Would you fight back then?
We should have a choice.
Maybe. I don't even. If it was that bad of a surgery, I would have remembered it. I don't remember it at all.
That's why
we block out trauma.
If you're talking about a person's body,
Traumatic memories are blocked out.
I got hit by a car. I remember everything that happened. Yeah, that's a fun fact about me. I got hit by a car.
Yeah. Really?
I didn't know that.
Dude, how bad was the car? He said he had an out-of-body experience.
Dude, it destroyed the car. The car was just...
You think he would appreciate David Atkinson's demonstration?
No, he says it's a right for a parent to cut off their daughter's clitoris.
Well, I mean, I don't think that doesn't help anything. Like, that doesn't benefit them.
Well, there are cultures that do circumcise girls, though.
They believe it does benefit them. They say it reduces her sexual pleasure, so she'll be less promiscuous.
No, that's got to be from a strictly religious standpoint, though. Does it? Like, what religious cultures do that?
It's typically a Muslim or African tribal.
Sure, I mean, like
custom.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense.
But it's a felony in the United States. No matter what reason you have for cutting off part of a girl's genitals, that's a felony. And we should have equal rights as men to our genitals. No one has the right to cut off any of my body parts. Not today, not when I was born.
And I want it back.
I do want it
Let's
back.
take our foreskins back.
Yeah.
Let's raid these hospitals and these landfills, and let's go get our foreskins back. Who's with me? Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Are y'all in? No. Are we in? We're taking our foreskins back.
That's
Forget Area 51. We're raiding the hospitals.
It sounds like you're a supporter.
Big time.
Oh, God.
Give us some. Wait, no.
I think he's just fucking around.
Wait, no. I won't.
But that's the thing. We can't ever get the part of our penis that's been destroyed.
And it sucks.
I don't care. It hasn't affected me at all.
Yeah.
Literally at all.
It's not
You know what I would say? That very statement shows that it has affected you. It's taken away your curiosity to learn the truth about this.
Well, like, I'm Jewish.
Boom.
Are you really
No,
Jewish?
I mean, I would
So,
disagree.
it's kind of like a big
So you're
religious
saying
thing,
that
so
if I didn't get circumcised, though, it'd be taking away my curiosity to feel like what?
No, if you were intact, you would understand that it's not a body part you would willingly give up.
How do you know?
Because men are intact around the world and don't go in and get circumcised. Europeans aren't circumcised.
You don't want to cut it off just like you don't want to cut off your ear or your finger
Exactly.
or your nose or your eyelid or your lips.
The world's men are not cut.
They also said it decreases women's
It's a
sexual
human
pleasure.
sacrifice.
And you said it's
I'm
cutting
alive,
off the
though.
guy's penis. It's not cutting off the penis.
It's cutting off part of. It's
Some
cutting
boys
at
do
least
get their
part
whole
of
penis
it,
chopped off.
and sometimes the whole penis is cut off. You don't get to decide how much is cut off. The doctor decides.
So I'm going to move on. I see David Atkinson having another interesting conversation over here. You can see we have some stubborn men there, ladies and gentlemen. And this is the frustration of intactivism, that there's an inherent tendency to deny that losing part of your penis is destructive or harms you at all. And what I said to him was that part of the harm is that inherent tendency to deny that there was harm. It's self-evident to an intact person that losing part of their genitals would be harm. And women get it.
The legislature there somehow undid that court ruling, so that I think it's still the case that in Germany boys are not protected. Although, of course, it would be nice if there was some place in the world where that, and we're optimistic that there will be soon, either Iceland or Denmark or other Scandinavian countries are working on it too, and possibly Germany as well.
Is it something you've ever thought about? What do you know about? So you said you're born in
I lived there until I was 12.
Okay. So when you got to America, was there like backlash against you or body shaming?
I don't know what my parents were doing.
Yeah, so
now I understand.
Challenge.
Hey, it's a lot different. I guess how it makes you.
And that's amazing. That's amazing. Did you ever?
David Atkinson, there's a group of men over there who could dearly use your info card demonstration, but I'm not sure.
Everybody else is talking to them though.
Right, and they are somewhat stubborn.
Yeah.
But I think you see the man in the gray shirt. I think he might appreciate it, but I think it would be welcome. Might be interesting to see.
Perhaps. I'm reluctant to step away from the stuff, especially when there's so many other people and activists crowding around already.
That's true. If you get a chance. Harry Gierman, press spokesman for Bloodstained Men and Their Friends. Have we had any press out here today, Harry Gierman?
No, we have had people report us, students report us for whatever reason, but no press yet. But it's been really good. There's so many people here, so open-minded and willing to talk, and great flow of traffic of pedestrians. It's just constant, nonstop. Friendly people. It's really an extraordinary day.
Any conversations stand out, Harry Gierman?
You know what stands out for me is so many people wanting to take pictures, and they're just so. They just kind of put their arms around me and they smile, and it's just like it's such a sweet thing.
And I think we actually got a picture, one of those pictures on this live video of someone thanking you.
Yeah, it's really important. And there was one young man here who had seen us in Memphis when we were there years ago, and knew about us and was quite informed and was glad to see us.
Amazing. 4 years later, I think we were in Memphis about 4 years ago.
He was thanking us for being here, and it was just really sweet. You know, he knew who we were, and was really glad to see us. So that's very rewarding.
That's awesome. Harry Gierman, we struck media gold in Memphis the other day, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. We had the newspaper, Commercial Appeal, Fox 13, and one other source.
The student newspaper. And there was another one called, I keep forgetting the name of that, but I believe there were four media that, I'm going to turn because of the wind. I believe there were four media that reported on the Bloodstained Men, and we know we were all over social media.
That was great.
And we're hearing that today. Some of these students have told me that they saw us on social media from Ole Miss yesterday.
Oh, this is going to catch fire on social media with all the pictures that are being taken. I'm sure we'll get lots of activity out there today.
Thank you, Harry Gierman.
Sure.
Press spokesman for Bloodstained Men and Their Friends.
Hello again.
Anastasia is having a little bit of lunch. We'll go see what James Lowen is talking about.
I know what it looks like.
Yeah.
I'm circumcised.
Right. And all the time I had it,
like.
I thought that was my only scar. And even though I've been at this for a long time, one day I put my penis open and I looked for my frenulum, and I found instead a thin white scar. The frenulum is the most sensitive part of it, one of the most sensitive parts of the penis. So that was fun. And then I realized, looking very closely after all these years, that the head of my penis was not pink, not bright. It was pitted, and that comes from when they put that probe under the foreskin of the baby to release it from the glands. Initially, the foreskin is fused to the glands to keep urine and feces out during the infancy period. But they have to stick a fucking probe under there and torture that baby and his toes curl, and he screams bloody murder. Look on YouTube. Look at the circumcision video. You guys will not be smiling, I promise you. And when you realize this is what was done to us, this is what we say, oh, it's okay, I can't remember, I was a baby. Bullshit. That trauma goes deep into the developing brain, and those boys who have been traumatized have a heightened pain reaction when they get a vaccination. Whereas girls who haven't been traumatized and boys who haven't been cut react very differently. Nobody did those tattoos without your permission. You chose those tattoos. So please don't compare adult body modifications with genital mutilation on a baby penis. They are not comparable. And you guys are in university, so you should be able to distinguish between forced mutilation and consent. And if you as an adult choose to be circumcised, I urge you, do your research. We talked to a man the other day who went to the doctor with a urological problem with one of his testicles, and the doctor was so adamant about promoting circumcision, he said, well, let's do that while you're here too. The man stopped us, he got out of his car and burst into tears. A 44-year-old man burst into tears describing what this doctor had done to him.
That was in Fort Smith, I believe.
In Fort Smith. And we like to think or talk as if, oh, I'm circumcised, you're circumcised, as if it's a uniform procedure. But it's really up to the, it's up to the discretion of the abuser, how much they abuse that child, how much they remove, how much they steal from him. So this man was left not with a scar that we recognize sort of halfway down the penis. Instead, he had a scar right under the rim, and that doctor had taken all of his mucous membrane. He now cannot come. And he stood there crying while his wife at the side was nodding in agreement. So foolishly or ignorantly, he agreed to something that he knew nothing about. And the psychological motivation to cut the genitals of others is very much the same as the psychological motivation to do harm to others. If a child has been beaten, that child is very likely to grow up to beat their own children and tell them it's good for them. And circumcision follows the same pattern of abuse. A child is cut, he grows up, he says, I want my son to look like me. And nobody asks any questions, they just hand him to the doctor, and the doctor goes and puts a $400 check or a $900 check into his account.
That man wept on the street and said it had ruined his life.
In Vancouver, where I'm from, we were on one of these tours, and I got a call from a friend in England who's also an activist for this, teaches the students of psychology at Keele University about the ramifications of circumcision. And they had just heard from a mother whose 24-year-old son had committed suicide after he got circumcised in Vancouver, where I'm from. And again, a sadistic doctor, one I know personally, did this to him. And the result was so bad that this boy killed himself. And he was the beloved son of the oldest 3 boys. His family is devastated. So it's an important human rights issue. Genital mutilation of children, male, female, intersex, is one of the biggest violations of human rights on this planet. And the reason I say it's one of the biggest is because it's one of the most hidden. And I know you guys are hearing me. Please check out American Circumcision on Netflix and study this issue. We need people to take this issue on. We need lawyers, we need nurses, we need doctors, we need psychologists, we need conscious people to hear this message and get into this and help end this, because this is a human atrocity. Girls do not prefer a circumcised penis. They have been brainwashed to believe that they want a depleted penis. They've been told, ooh, foreskin, dirty, dirty. Girls have foreskin. Girls have foreskin. Everybody's born with foreskin. It's in our DNA. It's a violation to cut that off somebody because the ramifications are far beyond a little bit of skin. As I showed you, it's 15 square inches of pure primary erotic zone gone. Thank you for letting me rant a little bit. Thank you. You too. Thank you. Sorry, Brother K. I had to rant.
It was great. Well, I was filming the whole thing, James Lowen. That was wonderful. Usually you're doing the filming, and our viewers, the hearts are just flowing across the screen. That was powerful and eloquent, James Lowen. Thank you, and really, do not apologize for speaking to that group. I saw you speaking to them. I came up, and I mean, we are up against a monster in human history.
We need to get the message out, and you know, it's been very receptive here. This has been a good crowd, but in that crowd initially were, you know, a couple of guys smirking, and that's what got me, you know, a little bit fired up.
Yeah.
And plus, you know, silent while I'm watching all of this, and I you know, so much is, all of us intactivists have done our research, and when you hear...
And even as you're talking to me, James Lowen, I see two men standing over there, and they're checking things out and looking curious.
Yeah. Should I give them a
Let's
card?
see if we give them a card, yeah. But James Lowen, the hearts are still flowing across the screen. Our viewers just loved the eloquence and passion and knowledge that you brought to the conversation, and they saw the intent faces of, I believe there were 5, maybe 6 young men there, all listening, and several of them appeared very, very bright and receptive, and I believe they were all receptive to varying degrees, but our viewers...
Varying degrees, so interesting because I'm so sorry, but one of the men looked like he'd been punched in the stomach. He knew that what I was saying, he experienced what I was saying. The one who was closest to me, he was nodding, and and his last words to me as he gripped my hand and said goodbye was, "I'm going to do the research."
We saw that. We saw that live on Facebook, and he had to get to class.
Yeah. It's hard work, and it is so rewarding. I mean, I can't thank you enough, Brother K, for making this happen. This has been a phenomenal tour that we're on, and you know, just the number of people that we've reached simply today has been phenomenal. But the whole, I think we're on day 14.
James Lowen,
now.
this is. I've talked to people out here today, and you probably have too, who said that we saw you on social media yesterday at Ole Miss.
Yes.
So these college students, it appears to be regional, but these college students are all seeing each other's social media posts.
Yes.
And several have told me they're going to tell their own friends at Southern Mississippi, where we're going to be tomorrow, that we'll be there.
That's great.
I mean, word of mouth is the traditional way that human society developed.
Yes.
You know, there was no internet 10,000 years ago. It was word of mouth.
Right. And in a sense,
and that's how culture grows and spreads. And we are using social media, but we are using word of mouth, and social media magnifies it, amplifies it.
Absolutely.
But word of mouth is foundational to a social movement.
Yeah. No, this is great. We're really we're energized every time we come to the campus.
And here's Britta Baki talking to another man. Luke is talking to 2 students. I believe these 2 students may have been in the group that you were talking to. I'm not sure. Honestly, so many faces now, James Lowen, going past my view that I can't always keep them straight. We are just talking to hundreds of people here outside the Mississippi State University Student Union on a beautiful, beautiful sunny day, James Lowen.
Yeah, and the day's going quickly. I mean, we've been swamped with people. It's really great, and we've got Seth Anderson here. He has his style and his way.
We talked to Seth earlier.
Talking and.
Actually, I'm going to go talk to Karen Cokes now.
Yeah.
Well, Karen Cokes is talking to people.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Have a good day today.
Karen Cokes, I don't believe we've talked to you yet, but just tell us what that woman just said. I heard you thanking her.
She came up and she said that, you know, she really doesn't have the time, but she totally supports what we're doing. She agrees with it. And that's good, coming from a woman. Because, you know, women are the ones that make the decision to cut the men, so they have a say.
Am I interrupting your conversation?
Sitting here talking.
Yeah, we've been talking for like the last 20 minutes.
Well, do you have a chance to talk to us then? We're live on Facebook? Or do you want me to come back later?
Yeah, come back later. We're going to finish up our conversation.
I'll come back later?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So you can see, ladies and gentlemen, Karen Cokes is there talking to a man, and a woman came up and thanked him. You can see groups of students standing around, interested in knowing what's going on here with the Bloodstained Men. I just saw Ryan handing out information cards. Ryan, it's been a remarkable day here at Mississippi State.
Yeah, it's been my best day of the tour so far, by far. getting into more conversations than I ever do, and handing out more cards to interested people. So it's been awesome.
Just a lot of open, receptive minds here. People smiling and thanking us for being here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Some have seen us on social media before, but others are just seeing us for the first time. But across the board, we are running into a friendly reception.
Mm-hmm. It's great. It's amazing the difference from one school to another. Didn't have quite the same response yesterday, which was a little disappointing. But at least we still got out there and did the work.
We did. And I always say it because I always want to qualify it. But you're right, because we saw the same difference between University of Oklahoma and Oklahoma State. University of Oklahoma, we met a lot of really nice, friendly people, but the next day at Oklahoma State, it was outstanding, the reception. And it's the same thing here. We met a lot of really, really friendly, open-minded people yesterday at University of Mississippi, but here today at Mississippi State, it's been off the charts. Just the majority of these people have been friendly and open-minded.
Hello.
Well, thank you, Ryan Lessel. Thank you for being here with Bloodstained Men and their friends. We will talk to you again tomorrow at Southern Mississippi University. David Atkinson is in a conversation over here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go see if we can listen in.
So you did it.
So you're from India, so you're Hindus.
Oh yeah.
So Hindus do not circumcise.
No, we do not.
And did you know that this is what they do to American boys?
Yeah, I did. I found out when I was in the 8th grade.
And what did you think when you found out?
I thought it was the dumbest thing ever.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
And, I mean, that's blunt but truthful.
Yeah.
The dumbest thing ever, to cut off part of a man's penis.
Exactly, and they didn't even want it. Maybe maybe they wanted to keep it. So it was parents' choice, I guess.
They didn't get to make their own choice.
Yeah, they didn't get to make their own
choice.
choice.
It's like you're born and it's just...
Yeah, it just happens.
So you are all intact?
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, we have 4 intact men here. And ladies and gentlemen, we know that Hindus, I believe Hinduism is the largest religion in the world, I believe, number-wise. But Hindus do not circumcise, ladies and gentlemen. We have 4 men. So were you all born in India or just born of Indian parents?
I was born in India.
I was born here.
You were born here. And did your parents ever talk to you about circumcision? Has it ever come up, or?
I mean, not really. I just kind of noticed like through school and then just like stuff like that. And I was like, oh, why is everyone circumcised here? I didn't even know what it was at first.
Yeah, because like our parents don't teach us all that. Like they don't we don't have conversations like that. It's kind of.
I thought Hindus were like all about they celebrate the penis.
No.
No.
I mean, no.
I thought like
Wait,
the
how?
Yoni and the Lingam, that is like Hindus,
Well, yeah. But then in Hinduism, there's also like different like religions. So it's like
right,
it's a
subsects.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this: did any of you, and you don't have to answer this question if you don't want to, but did any of you experience anyone trying to bully you, or shame you, or mock you, or ridicule you for?
No, I've never had that done to me.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to be proud of what you are. So.
Yes.
Yeah.
And anyone that's going to disrespect you, you don't want to be with anyway, right?
Exactly.
But because we talked to someone earlier today, and some American men get body shamed, they get ridiculed, and they actually go.
How that could happen in like high school, especially here.
You say you can see?
I can see.
Yeah.
But you didn't experience
No, I
it.
didn't.
And sir?
I did not.
Awesome. That's great.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
That makes me happy. There's no reason to shame somebody.
Yeah.
Because you're normal. They're not.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, you're right.
Isn't that crazy?
Like a lot of people like me who've had part of my penis cut off, you know? Because it's not my fault. I didn't choose that. It should be the other way around.
Yeah.
If anyone should be fun of it, would be me for being damaged, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Very strange.
That's awesome. And did you know that there was a movement like our movement to educate parents and stop this cruelty to our sons?
I did not.
I mean, I found out. I guess were you guys at Ole Miss last week?
Yeah. I saw on people's stories.
We were at Ole Miss yesterday.
Yeah, I saw it on stories. I didn't know you guys were coming down here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was we're live on Facebook, and I was just telling our viewers that that social media is spreading the word between campuses.
Yeah.
So you all saw it on, and sir, did you see it on social media also? Did you all see it?
Yeah.
Did you talk about it with your friends or share it or spread it?
Actually,
or-
no. Me and him talked about it. We had a good conversation last night about it.
Really,
Yeah,
really?
It was just like a one-on-one.
Yeah, we just it initiated the conversation about it this morning, and then we were talking about like the reasons why people get like
and how it is. Like, I mean, it's just normal to us. Like, I mean, if you're ashamed of it, that's just, I don't know why you would be ashamed of it.
And it's absolutely outrageous that American doctors are doing this to our sons and claiming that it's healthy and
it's
clean.
not, though.
It's insane.
Yeah.
I think, what was the term you had for it, and you said it's dumb.
I said it's dumb. Yeah. I think.
I mean, it's blunt but true.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to give us your first names?
Yeah, it's Luke Patel.
And spell that.
Oh, it's Luke and then Patel Patel.
And what do your friends call you, Luke?
Yeah.
Awesome.
I'm Smith.
Smith?
Yeah.
I'm Smith or Smith?
Smith.
Smith.
Yeah.
I'm Aryan.
And say it.
Aryan.
Ario?
Aryan.
Arvin.
Arvin and
Aryan.
Aryan. Awesome. Thank you, men. Thank you for talking to us, and congratulations, and spread the word, because all Americans deserve the same freedom of body.
Smith, I'll see you later.
And ladies and gentlemen, that's a first for Bloodstained Men live on Facebook. We just interviewed 4 men with roots in India, Hindu, American citizens, and they are all intact. None have been body shamed. You can see here we have a group of, you can see dozens of cameras out here, ladies and gentlemen. Just, this is remarkable. And they are photographing Seth and Edward here, and Celeste. And are you a tour group? Are you a group of students touring the university?
We're in a class.
You're in a class, an anthropology class?
No, art history.
Art history. And so you're out outside doing field work in the afternoon, or have you come out here to talk to us?
Just, see what it's all about.
Awesome. Well, we've got all kinds of people around who'd be more than happy to talk to you.
Okay.
Can I introduce you to our press spokesman? He'd be a good place to start if you want to talk to him.
I think I'm going to stick with the class.
Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, an art. You say it's art history or art? Ma'am, you said it's an art history class. Art history class. Awesome. Thank you for coming out. So, ladies and gentlemen, you can see an entire class has come out, and they were all taking pictures. Now they are spreading out. I don't know if some are going back to the class, but here's Seth Edward now talking to a man who's going to take a picture.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Sir, did you know there was a movement to stop circumcision?
I didn't know there was a movement to stop it, but I'm for it, man.
And are you part of this art class?
Yeah, I just came from my art class. We got a little early to come see you guys.
And the instructor suggested this?
Yeah, Jenna Altamonte.
Tell us what happened.
So we just started talking about it in class. Somebody brought it up, and she was like, "Oh, we should all go out there and like see it, because we're talking about surrealism."
And that's your professor.
Yeah, and this isn't something you see all the time. You know, the outfits with the bloodstained clothes. It's like a strong point. You know, it's very interesting. You know.
Awesome. What's your name, sir?
I'm Thomas.
Thomas.
Yeah.
And so you did not know that there was any movement like this before today.
I knew that there was like people were against it, you know, because like it's genital mutilation, right? You know, and but I just didn't know there was like an actual movement for it, especially here in Mississippi and stuff. I like it a lot, though.
Did you get our card?
I didn't.
There's our card.
Thank you.
Actually, let me see if I can get our cards over here. Did you all get our card?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you all watch Tosh.0 on Comedy Central? Anybody know what that is?
I do not know what that is.
Tosh.0 interviewed me about a month ago on Comedy Central, so if you want to see that, it's on our website embedded, or you can go on YouTube and see it. I'm Brother K on Tosh.0. And he's on our side. So, ladies and gentlemen, there's a... Hi, can we get that again, ma'am? Thank you. Lady gave us a V for victory. Thank you. Harry, did you see that? An entire art history class came out here, and they were talking about surrealism in their class today, and their professor let them out early so they could come out here and photograph us and talk about us, or talk to us.
Well, we're definitely surreal. Definitely, this is surreal.
Yeah, it is. I always say that we are we're a crack in reality. We're a rupture of reality.
That's just awesome. But, once when we were in New Orleans the last time, someone came by and she said, "This is most beautiful art project, the most beautiful work of art I've ever seen. And it was.
Wow, that sent a shiver down my spine.
Yeah,
That's.
It was touch. Yeah, it was. Yeah.
The most beautiful work. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I guess if you think of performance art in a way.
Yeah.
But it's performance art with a meaning, with a deep, profound meaning. Wow, that was awesome seeing, and I see a lot of them are hanging around there, and
awesome is right.
Amazing. Here's Courtney Shin with Legacy Blossom, and she's just chilling. And ladies and gentlemen, little 2-month-old baby on the front lines, and when you brought your other baby on the tour, that was baby Justice. How old was he at the time?
He was 8 months.
8 months. So Courtney Shin likes bringing her young ones out here, ladies and gentlemen. And Courtney will be with us in tomorrow in Hattiesburg and over the weekend in New Orleans.
Yes.
Here's another conversation going on over here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's listen in.
Some parents are taught that you have to pull that skin back and clean under it, and others know to leave it alone. And if you pull it back, it will tear the skin, and that creates a site for infection. And the study didn't control for that.
I get that. What I'm saying is that people don't know that. People don't put that out there. So vast majority of parents believed, oh, it's better to have this done, so let's have this done to risk any future infections. I'm just saying that, like, people are not well informed, and now people are more.
Yeah, I agree.
What made you want to pick this type of activism?
I got into this when I learned that the foreskin is the most erogenous part of a man's genitals.
No, I think it's fine.
So
You
I
can
was
believe whatever you
the most
want.
sensitive
I'm
part.
just curious.
Well, that's not a belief. That's a fact. And you found out that the best part of his penis has been destroyed.
It was cut off when I was a baby. Before I could even object to it.
No, I'm just curious, like, how you got into this activism. Like, you joined this organization.
Well, the one I found out that the Boys and Men came to Kansas City. Were coming to Kansas City, and
is this like?
And I joined them.
Is this just one chapter, or is this y'all's whole group? Or do y'all have multiple groups?
We have supporters all over the country.
But y'all like travel around the
country? Tens of thousands.
Oh.
But this is the road crew that travels around the country, and we go to like over 60 cities in America every year, and this is our university tour. Yeah.
That's fun.
But you are the generation that's going to be starting families next, so it's very important for you to. Oh yeah, you said you weren't having.
I don't think any of us are. Yeah.
I mean, the world's gonna end in about 10 years anyways.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
Maybe y'all should support information about climate change.
Yeah. But you will know women at some point who are having children.
I don't know. I don't think it's happening. A lot of my friends are lesbian. Yeah. I mean, it's the truth. There's more lesbians. Or just like girls who don't want babies. It's true. But I think you should support climate change activism. People need to eat less meat.
We're both vegan.
Oh my goodness, really? Wow, that's really cool. I actually am not completely vegetarian yet. I eat meat like 2 to 3 times a week. It was really hard for me to try to go vegetarian. Did you do climate change activism as well, or just penis, like foreskin activism?
Focus on genital mutilation, and I do animal rights activism.
Really? Have you gone to our vet school?
No.
We have a vet school. Yeah. Y'all can stand outside.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we see some of the intellectual young women here, and she said none of her friends want to have babies. I can understand that feeling. We do live in a very, very challenging world, and it's not always easy to make the decision to have a child. I know that as a parent, I'm glad I did. Being a parent actually changed my life. And I know that most parents will agree on that. For the better.
But people doing this is what got female circumcision banned in the 90s. It used to be covered by insurance to cut off girls.
Okay, but it may just be the time that I'm born in or whatever that makes seeing men circumcised a lot more normal than seeing women circumcised too. But
right. It's a cultural brainwashing. But the rest of the world does not think it's normal, and they're horrified to find out that we do this here to our babies.
Yeah, but it's a lot of stuff that other countries do too that I'm horrified about too.
Yeah, like what?
I don't know. This is stuff I was hearing about some stuff earlier that they do to their babies when they're born. I'd rather not talk about that again because that almost made me sick while I was eating.
They do female circumcision.
Yeah, they do that stuff too. All that.
So if you had grown up in that culture, it would seem normal. And it takes some.
Circumcision seems normal to you, but it's really not normal. Exactly. Normal. Circumcision is not normal. Normal penis is normal.
In China, they used to bind the feet of girls. So they would break the bones of baby girls and fold them their feet in half and tie them up. And when they grew up to be women, they had to clump along on these damaged feet. And it was missionaries who had visited China and said, well, we got to help do something about this. They helped educate Chinese, working with other Chinese people to stop this practice.
They thought that tiny feet were more attractive.
And they did it to please men because they thought that's what men like.
So, ladies and gentlemen, you can see we have a woman sitting there. She's made a little handheld sign on a sheet of paper, no foreskin, no problem. And Harry Gierman and Celeste are talking to her. We don't always change minds on the spot, but we do always get people to think, and that's the whole point of it. I believe these are still the art history students out here. I'm not certain. I believe these are still the art history students out here. Hi, would you like to talk to our press spokesman? Are you the professor of this class?
I am. I'm gonna refrain. I'm just
Okay.
observing, but thank you.
Sure. Okay, great.
I have your. Do you have any more literature? I'd like to.
I can give you more cards.
Sure.
Great. A great idea. A great eye for art in reality.
It's interesting.
Thank you. Thank you for
Interesting message. Thank you.
Thank you for suggesting to your class that you come out here.
Yeah, thank you. All right.
Do you want to introduce yourself or give us
Jenna,
your
yeah.
Jenna,
Nice to meet
and
you,
you're a
yeah.
professor of art here.
Yes.
Awesome. Wonderful. Thank you, Jenna.
Thank you.
So you can see, ladies and gentlemen, Jenna, a professor of art here, brought her class out, and we had that happen at a couple of other universities on this tour. An anthropology class came out, and we've talked to other professors. The conversations continue here, ladies and gentlemen. It's getting a gust of wind through here. Students continue to just come by in droves. James Lowen, this is a photographer's smorgasbord, isn't it?
Yeah, it's great.
We just met Jenna, the art professor who brought her class out here.
Yeah, she was. That was for an art class.
Yes, she's a professor who teaches art history to these students, and she let them out early to come out here.
Wow.
And that's the woman in black over there. She just introduced herself to me.
I just talked with a student who is in a philosophy class, and he said their class was talking about it this morning. So he came out to take a look and talk with us.
And even as you're talking, James Lowen, I just see students are just coming from every direction. This is truly a crossroads for Mississippi State University here in Starkville. Thank you. And so Seth Edwards is talking to some of the art students and the professor there.
Yes.
Students coming by, ladies and gentlemen. We've got intactivists everywhere. And here's Harry Gierman now with Celeste. They're talking to a man just came out of the Union. Hi, can I give you our card? Thank you, sir. How you doing, sir? Can I give you our card? Awesome, thank you. Thank you. Would you pose for a picture with me?
I would rather not.
No problem. Thanks for taking our card and check it out.
All right.
Sure, can I give you our card?
Yeah, I got one, man.
Okay, you got any questions?
No, I'm good, man. Appreciate it, man.
And ladies and gentlemen, there's a man reading our card. We've got, maybe we might get a chance to talk to Karen Coates now. Here she's talking to 3 university women here, or no,
One lady
Britta
in
and 2 women
She had taken
from
her
the
baby
university.
for a circumcision revision, and she said all the baby does is constantly cry and pull at his penis. And I could guarantee it's because the foreskin has been pulled so tight it's painful. There are a lot of males that actually suffer from that. Tight erections or tight skin on the shaft, and there's really nothing else that can be done, because if they were to go back in, unless they get a skin graft, if they were actually to go back in and the doctor messed with them again, it will be worse than what it was before.
Right.
So yeah, it's something that you guys, I mean, just look into it. It's just like really eye-opening when you really start to hear the information and take it in with an open mind. It really is mind-blowing. Everything, like I said, from the history of circumcision to the basic anatomy to the religion aspect to the human rights aspect. I mean, it is really mind-blowing that it all just comes together.
Right.
And we should be against it because everything is against it. Okay? We don't agree with slavery. We don't. It's wrong. Why are we doing this when this is what was used during slavery? Why are we going against a man's right? That goes basic human rights right there. Anatomy. Men are born with the foreskin for a reason. Why are we going against it and taking that from him? Biblical reasons. That stopped when Jesus was the last person to sacrifice. So it's like a full circle, and it all leads to we shouldn't be doing this. Save your babies, ladies. Don't circumcise. No, proper intact care. It's super easy. Wipe like a finger from base to tip. That's it. Never retract the foreskin. Remember that. And teach your men too, because guess what? My husband is circumcised and we have 2 intact babies. He educated himself and he's against circumcision. Hi.
Karen Coates, an eloquent, powerful, passionate speech you just gave those 2 women.
Thank you.
You drove over from Texas last night and you told me never again. You're never going to make
that was 11 hours.
11 hours.
I'm going to tell you, it was miserable. But it was worth it.
And you're here now, though.
It was worth it,
And
yes.
this has been a remarkable day.
It has.
You've been on the front lines with us many times, but this is the most unique yet.
Yes, never at a university.
And all
I'll
these
tell you this,
receptive minds.
Young, open-minded people just taking this information in, asking for info cards. I mean, it's amazing how young people are so open-minded that they want to hear the information. I love that. We don't get that. We went to the Super Bowl. We saw what happened there. It's a lot of, I say over 40 is what we have a problem with reaching out to, because, society is so brainwashed to this whole circumcision medical industry fraud that, they don't want to talk about it.
Karen, I want to talk to you some more. Would you hold my selfie stick, and I'm going to get a photograph with this man here.
Graphic student who wanted a picture with you, brother.
Sure.
I told him a bit about the.
Sure. Do you have our card?
Yes, sir. I told him about the origins of bloodstained men, and he asked me if I would take a picture with you.
Oh, awesome! Thank you.
Yeah, so that's great. Thank you so much. It's a beautiful picture.
Thank you. What's your name, sir? Stefan. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
It does have a double standard. Thank you. Thank you. It's well recognized. Yes, I say that all the time.
Where are y'all from?
I'm from Austin, Texas.
I live in Chicago.
We're from all over, but we come together to do protests. And well, I can't say protest at this point because it's more like a educational stand.
Thank you, Karen Cokes. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Stefan. You just saw me posing for a photograph. Stefan, you are in that art history class.
Yes, sir.
And we met your professor earlier. Tell us what happened in class and how you all ended up being out here.
Well, we got in class early, and they was telling us about a protest that was being on the drill field. So we had said, the professor general was like, we should go see the protest, and we'll leave class early. So we got done with our lesson and came after class to see the protest. And we seen the protest, and I thought it was a neat protest because I never seen something like this, and I never seen a protest about circumcision. So I stayed and asked questions with you and talked, got the card myself, and thought it was a neat protest, and I just wanted to ask questions and see.
Awesome. And is art your major?
Yes, sir. I'm doing graphic design.
Excellent. Well, good luck on your career, and thank you for coming out here and talking to us, and spread the word, spread the message to other men and all the women in your life in the future that it's cruel and unjust to do this, to circumcise a baby boy. It should be a man's choice.
Thank you.
Thank you, Stefan. Awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to pose here on this. So art history, art student Stefan, and we wish you many, many blessings ahead. Thank you, Stefan.
Thank you.
And ladies and gentlemen, you can see students continue to walk by, all their smartphones around. I believe there will be pictures taken as they go by the bloodstained men. More conversations. You can see, ladies and gentlemen, it's just a remarkable day here at Mississippi State University. Here's Britta and Ryan are talking to 3 more students.
Yes, it's culturally normal in America. It's not culturally normal in France. We've adopted this as medicine. This is not medicine. This is a religious thing. In Europe, they don't do this in the hospitals to their baby boys. It's the Jewish religions do it, the Muslim religions do it for their religious reasons. It is not a medical. It's not medically necessary. Your penis is not going to fall off just because you have a foreskin. These men aren't just walking around with diseases. You hear about all these mysterious diseases. It's the same flesh as the vagina. American women are not just walking around infected. Yes, you can get infections, sure, but it's not because of the foreskin. Cleanliness. Take a shower. There's other things.
It needs to be stressed more for all of us to
clean ourselves. Yes, men and women alike. Right. If a woman does not clean her vagina, that's disgusting.
But it's the same for men.
Yes,
too.
even cut men. Even cut men. You gotta wash yourself. That's why we have modern,
hot water.
Yes, exactly. So it's something that affects everything. It's not just affecting men.
So I heard the girl just walked by.
Yeah. So all mammals have foreskin. So women have foreskin too. And then genital cutting was allowed in this country until 1997.
For women?
For women, yes. It was paid for by insurance up until the 1970s. So insurance was even covering the genital.
I think it's interesting that we refer to that as female genital mutilation.
But not men. It's the same. It is the same. It is a full, and even in other countries where it's practiced, they spout the same things that the men hear. That, it's cleaner. Sex is better when you don't have a clitoris.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I could probably spend the rest of the afternoon doing this live broadcast. You can just see that we're just having dozens and dozens of conversations here at Mississippi State University in Starkville, Mississippi. I'm going to wrap up this live broadcast at 3 o'clock. We're going to be pulling up our tent stakes and heading for Hattiesburg, Mississippi, where we will be tomorrow. That will be day 15 of the 2019 Southern University Circumcision Crisis Protest Tour. Tomorrow at Southern Mississippi University in Hattiesburg. We are here today at Mississippi State University, in Starkville, and it's just been a remarkable day, ladies and gentlemen. Many, many open minds, receptive student body, all friendly. Just been a remarkable day here for us, ladies and gentlemen. I will see you tomorrow from Hattiesburg, Mississippi. In the meantime, please do go on Bloodstained Men and Their Friends on Facebook. On the left-hand column, you will see the tab for our fundraisers. We are all volunteers. We don't earn any money. I get no salary, no compensation whatsoever. Your donations go to pay our travel expenses, our plane tickets, our hotel rooms, our meals, and our rental van. So please, please, keep Bloodstained Men on the road, ladies and gentlemen. I will protest across the nation as long as you support Bloodstained Men. We do rely on your kind donations. So Bloodstained Men and Their Friends, we have an ongoing fundraiser. You can see that on our homepage on Facebook, Bloodstained Men and Their Friends, the column, the left-hand tab, fundraisers, and you will see it. The other way you can donate is on our website, bloodstainedmen.com. We have a PayPal button there. You can, there are several ways you can donate to Bloodstained Men and Their Friends. Your donations are the fuel that has allowed us to travel around the United States and reach people everywhere, ladies and gentlemen, in all walks of life. This is our Southern University tour. Clearly, we're going to be doing more university tours. It's been an incredible success. We will, and here's James Lowen talking to 2 more students. So, ladies and gentlemen, support Bloodstained Men and Their Friends. Here's their Seth Edward over there talking to, looks like he's talking to about 6 men over there, 7 men. We will be in Hattiesburg tomorrow. I will see you tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, live here on Bloodstained Men and Their Friends. In the meantime, spread the word. Friends don't let friends circumcise their babies. Stop your friends. Educate them. Tell them, no, don't do that to your baby. Sometimes all it takes is one simple statement. We know that people going by our protests, just seeing us out here, sometimes that's enough, ladies and gentlemen. It doesn't take much. Just a word from you might save a baby from this lifelong mutilation of his sexual organ. The organ that brings us all into this world, ladies and gentlemen, human sexuality, and doctors are cutting off part of American men's penises at birth. It is just absolutely disgraceful, absolutely corrupt, unethical, depraved, and so greedy of these doctors. We know that they're making a lot of money doing it. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. See you tomorrow in Hattiesburg at Southern Mississippi.
You deserve your whole penis, not just the part your mom left you with. Did you get a card? Human rights for everyone. Genital mutilation for no one. Y'all get a card?
It's disgusting. So then they take this blunt force object and they shove it into the penis, and then they go around, right, separating the foreskin from the head of the penis.
It's the pain equivalent of ripping off 4 fingernails.
They scream bloody murder. No, babies scream bloody murder. Some pass
They
out.
bust their lungs.
Some bust the lungs.